Hello and welcome to another video. This is cracking the Cryptic app Fog 4-pack puzzle number 41, Domino Visibility Issues. The rules are: Fog of 4. Correctly place digits, clear the fog around them. Classic. Every row, column, and box must have all numbers from 1 to 9 exactly once. And lastly, Partial Domino. A white dot between two cells indicates that the neighboring digits are consecutive. A black dot between two cells indicates that one of the digits is twice as big as the other digit. An X between two cells indicates that the cells sum to 10. A V between two cells indicates that the cells sum to 5. Note all possible dots, X's, and V's are given. Fog XOE note: for clarity, X's have a blue background and V's have a red background. Without further ado, let's begin. This should be a fairly simple puzzle. So, these two pairs of cells, as we can see by the V between them, sum up to 5. So they're either 1, 4 or a 2, 3. And since this is a black crop key, then this cell down here could be a 1. Could be a 1. Could be a 2. It cannot be a 3 because it's missing a 6 up here. But it can be a 4, 6, or an 8. And since these two cells sum up to 10, then this is either 6, 7, 8, or a 9. However, this cell actually lies in a black crop key, and you cannot have numbers 5, 7, and 9 showing up in a black crop key. Why? Because nothing doubles into these values, and a double of their value is over 9. Therefore, this cannot be a 7 or a 9. And now, that's why over here, you actually can't have numbers 1 or 3. And that's why over here you cannot have 2 or 4, because if this was the number 2, it would force this to be a 4 and they wouldn't be consecutive. So this cannot be a 2 or a 4 for that reason. And now, since these two have to make a 5, then this cannot be a 1 or a 3. So it's either a 2 or a 4. Okay. Now over here, since they're a black crop key pair, this cannot be a 6, obviously. And it cannot be the number 1, because the number 1 would force this to be a 2, but without the 1 and the 2, over here you would have these two cells summing up to 7, and they must be summing up to 5. So therefore, that is not the number 1. So, if this is a 2, then this is a 4, and then you have a number 4 between these two cells in this column. Otherwise, this simply just is the number 4, and then again you have a number 4 somewhere between these two cells in this column. That's why nowhere else in the column can you have the number 4. It must be somewhere here. And then this is the number 2. Before we fill this in, let's just quickly select all the cells in the grid, and let's fill them with all the values that they could possibly take. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the number 2. Oops. And then this is a 3. This is a 4, 8. These two sum up to 5. So 1, 6. The 6 needs the 3 in a black crop key. All right. Now, these two cells sum up to 10, so they cannot contain a number 5, because a number 5 would need another 5 to make the 10, but they can't show up in the same column. Now, number 6 isn't available, so you can't use a 4, because a 4 would need a 6 to make the 10. Same with the 2, so this cannot have the number 8. And over here, you cannot have the number 5. You cannot have an 8, because 8 would need the 2 to make the 10. And you cannot have the 9, because number 1 isn't available. Furthermore, these two digits are consecutive. So, since neither of them contains the number 2, none of them can contain the number 1. Now, can this be the number 3? Nope, because the lowest number here would be a 7, and they're not consecutive. 4 would work. 4 is consecutive with the 3. 5 doesn't work, though. 7 doesn't work either, because 7 would either have a 3 or a 9. 8 works, and number 9 also doesn't work, because then the highest number here would be a 7. So this is either a 4 or an 8. However, can this possibly be the number 4? If it was a 4, it would force this to be the 3 in order to be consecutive. And then this 3 would need a 7 to make the 10. But without the 4, 3, and 7, number 6 would be showing up twice in this box, which is a contradiction. Therefore, this is not the 4 and is therefore the 8. So this cannot be the number 3. And that's why over here you can have either a 3 or a 1. You cannot have 7 or a 9. Now, we actually see something new. We see that this cell also has another consecutive value on its left side. That's why this cannot be the number 9, because a 9 can only be followed by another 8, and you cannot have 8 showing up twice in the same row. Therefore, this has to be the number 7, because they are supposed to be consecutive as per the white circle. And now this has to be a 6, and then this must be the number 5. These two cells sum up to 5, so you cannot have 8 or 9 in them. And since a number 3 isn't available here, then you cannot have a number 2 showing up on this cell right here. And since this is either 3 or 4, you cannot have 3 or 4 down here, because they're supposed to be summing up to 10. All right. What else can we do? Let's go through the digits very quickly and see. So number 2 is either here or here, meaning that it cannot show up anywhere else in the same row. Number 3, nothing too obvious with it. We should maybe first deal with these two cells. So they're supposed to be consecutive, so that's why this value cannot be very high. This cannot be an 8 or a 9. And can this be number 1? Yes, if this is the number 2. How about if this is a 4? Well, if this was a 4, then the highest value here is a 2. So they would not be consecutive. Therefore, this must be the number 1. And so this is a number 2, and then this is a 3, and then this is a 4. And then we have an 8, 9, 8, 9. So you cannot have an 8, 9 in the same column. Furthermore, this is a black crop key, so a number 9 cannot show up in it. So this is an 8, and the only value it can be paired with is a 4, meaning that this is a 9. This is a black crop key, and as we said, 5, 7, and 9 cannot show up there. So this has to be a 2, and then this is a 1. Okay, so this is the number 3, 7, 4, and then this must be the 6. 5, 7, and 9 cannot show up in a black crop key. And since the number 1 doesn't have the number 2 to pair with it, then this is a 4, 8 pair. So you cannot have a 4 or an 8 anywhere else in that box. Now you have, actually you don't, but number 1 is either here or here, meaning that it cannot be anywhere else in the same column. Okay, these two cells sum up to 10, and that's why they are a 3, 7. So you cannot have a 3 or a 7 anywhere else in the same box, meaning that this is the 6. Now the only number available that is consecutive with the 6 is the number 5. These two cannot contain 5, 7, or 9. And then 8 cannot show up here because it's a black crop key, and the number 4 is unavailable. So this is a 1, 2, 1, 2. And 7 cannot be here because these two are consecutive, so this is a 3, and then this is a 2. They sum up to 10, so this must be the 8, and then this is 1, and so this is a 7. These two sum up to 10, but 6 isn't available, so this cannot be a 4. This is therefore the 9, and this is a 1. 7, 4, so 4 must go up here. Okay. Now, these two cells cannot have a number 3 showing up in them because 7 isn't available. Cannot have 4 in them because 6 isn't available. So that's a 2, 8 pair. And so we have a 3, 4 in this box in the bottom right corner. Okay. Now, let's see if maybe we're missing something simple. Let's just go through the digits very quickly. So number 1, number 2, okay, number 3. So number 3 has to go over here. Let's recheck the number 2 just in case. Okay, nothing new. Number 4. And then 5. So number 5 is either here or it's somewhere here, meaning that it cannot be in these in these 6 cells in this box. So this cannot be the number 5. Okay, and number 6, 7, 8. So number 8 has to go here, meaning that this is the number 2. And so number 2 has to go here. And now this is 5, 9, 5, 9, so we cannot have 5 or a 9 over there. All right. Now these 2 cells sum up to 10, and you cannot have number 5 showing up in there. Number 8 also cannot be there because number 2 is unavailable. And this cannot be a 6 because number 4 isn't available here. So this is a 9, and then this is a 1. Okay. That is good progress. And now we see that these 2 cells are consecutive. So this cannot be a 2 or a 3. 4 and 6 are consecutive with the 5. 7 is consecutive with the 8. So that all works. But over here, you cannot have a 2, a 3. So 4 works, 6 works, 7 works, but the number 9 cannot be there. Let's go through the digits again. So number 1, 2. So number 2 is either here or here, meaning that it cannot be over here. So that's a 7, 2. Okay, so 2. And then let's check the number 3. Number 3 has to go here now. All right. And then number 4. Number 4 is either here or here, meaning that it cannot be here. So this is an 8, and then this is the 4. All right, let's check the 5. 6, 7, 8, and lastly the 9. Okay, we should probably be slightly more careful. So for example, this cannot be the number 7 anymore, because then this would be a 5. They wouldn't be consecutive. Okay. Now this is either a 2 or a 6, and it cannot be a 2 because it would not be consecutive with this value, so it must be the 6. And so this is a 4, this is a 5 because they're consecutive, this is a 7, this is a 6 because they're consecutive, and then a 6 is here. This is a 5, 9, 5, 9, so this is a 7, 3, 4, and then this is a 7 because they're consecutive, this is a 2, and number 2 must be here in this box. 8, 9, 8, 9 is given, so this is a 1, 9, 5, 1, 3, 6, 8, 9, 8, 5, 7, 9, 5, 8, 6, 5, 9, 5, 1, 9, and the puzzle is complete. That was a very simple one. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.